we're breaking down the 5 most common soundbar mistakes. And fixing these will immediately change how your system sounds. Most people don't even realize they're limiting their soundbar's clarity, Atmos height, and overall performance just by setting it up the wrong way. Stay with this video, because once you see how simple these fixes are, you'll never use your soundbar the same way again. Hit subscribe, like, and drop a comment for what you want to see next on Interface Craft. Mistake 5. Missing the new height adjustment feature. One of the most overlooked mistakes is ignoring the height adjustment feature that many modern soundbars now include, even though it directly affects how well Dolby Atmos performs in real rooms. This feature exists because rooms react very differently to upward projected sound, and the bar cannot assume your ceiling height, seating distance, or room geometry. Without proper adjustment, the height channels often fail to reach the listener the way they were designed to. Wait before you skip. What you're about to see flips the entire performance ranking, and almost no one talks about it. Stay here and subscribe now, because the next second will change how you set up your soundbar. Let's continue. Instead of creating a clean overhead layer, the sound either collapses toward the front stage or spreads too wide, causing Atmos effects to lose definition and realism. The height adjustment tool recalibrates the angle, timing, and lift of the height drivers, whether they're physical up-firing units or virtual processors, so the soundbar can send elevation cues more precisely to your exact seating position. During testing across multiple room sizes, the improvement was immediate. Effects that previously sounded vague or disconnected suddenly moved above the listener with clear separation, while ambient layers gained true vertical character instead of simply becoming louder. Even dialogue clarity improved because the entire soundstage became more structurally balanced when vertical imaging aligned correctly with the front and side channels. Many users assume Atmos performance is automatic, but without height tuning, the soundbar is essentially guessing your ceiling height, listener distance, and reflection angle, which rarely matches the real environment. Before we go deeper, like the video and share it so more people can avoid these mistakes. Drop a comment below and tell me one thing you wish your soundbar could do better. Your answers help shape the next videos. Different ceiling materials, drywall, wood, concrete, reflect height audio in completely different ways, and without correction, the bar cannot compensate for those variations. Leaving this feature untouched means you only hear a portion of the height potential your system is capable of. Adjusting it takes a few seconds, but the impact on vertical detail, spatial precision, and cinematic immersion can feel like upgrading to a more expensive soundbar. It is one of the simplest and most powerful settings available, yet it remains one of the most ignored. Correcting this mistake instantly unlocked performance that most people never realize their soundbar can deliver. Mistake 4. Not playing with the loudness feature. Do not move. The next mistake exposes a hidden flaw that silently ruins sound quality in most homes. Watch this part and subscribe so you don't miss the breakdown that comes right after it. A mistake almost every soundbar owner makes is ignoring the loudness feature, even though it directly affects the way a system performs in everyday listening. Most people assume loudness is nothing more than a simple volume boost, but that's not its purpose at all. Loudness exists because the human ear doesn't hear all frequencies equally at lower volumes. When a volume is low or mid-level, the ear naturally loses sensitivity to bass and some mid-range detail, which makes movies and music feel thin and underpowered unless the system compensates for it. Without the loudness feature enabled, many soundbars sound smaller than they actually are. Bass loses weight, dialogue loses body, and background effects collapse into the front of the room instead of filling the space. It's the reason so many people complain that their expensive soundbar sounds great only when it's loud. When we tested the loudness feature across multiple soundbars, the difference was immediately noticeable. Enabling it brought back the warmth and fullness that normally requires turning the volume far higher than most people prefer during everyday viewing. bass became more consistent, dialogue sounded more natural, and ambient effects gained depth even at modest listening levels. This also supports Dolby Atmos performance, because height and spatial cues rely on a stable mid-bass foundation to sound convincing. Without that foundation, Atmos effects tend to feel disconnected or overly front-loaded. The loudness feature helps restore this structural balance, allowing the soundbar to maintain dimensionality without relying on high volume. Another issue is that rooms react differently to low-frequency energy. A setting that sounds flat in one room may suddenly sound too boomy in another. The loudness feature gives the soundbar the flexibility to adapt, compensating for room absorption, furniture placement, and seating distance. Most users never touch the setting because they assume the factory tuning is optimal, but in practice, the default mode rarely matches real living rooms. Even small changes to the loudness setting can reveal details that were previously buried or help maintain a richer sound profile during late-night viewing when volume needs to stay low. If this makes sense so far, hit like and share the video with anyone upgrading their setup. In the comments, let me know your room size or ceiling height. It helps me tailor future guides for real setups like yours. Not experimenting with it means you're allowing your soundbar to operate below its true capability. Soundbars are tuned to deliver a certain level of presence, warmth, and dynamic structure, and a loudness feature is one of the simplest and most effective tools for unlocking that performance. Trying it takes seconds, yet the improvement can be dramatic, especially for users who want full cinematic sound without turning the system up to uncomfortable levels. Skipping this feature is one of the easiest ways to unintentionally limit the quality of your home audio experience. The next detail is something even experienced users miss, and it directly affects your Atmos performance. Stay with me and subscribe now if you want the real truth behind soundbar setup. Mistake 3. Not trying the speech enhancement feature. A major mistake many soundbar owners make is ignoring the speech enhancement feature, even though it directly affects how clearly you hear voices in movies, shows, sports, and streaming content. Most people assume dialogue problems come from weak speakers or poor mixing, but in reality, the issue is often that the soundbar's center channel frequencies are getting buried under bass, effects, or room reflections. The speech enhancement feature is designed to pull those critical mid-range frequencies forward, giving dialogue strength, clarity, and definition even in scenes packed with heavy sound effects. When this feature is off, voices can sound distant, washed out, or lost under background audio, forcing people to constantly adjust the volume. During testing, enabling speech enhancement immediately stabilized dialogue by isolating the vocal range and lifting it subtly above the rest of the mix. This doesn't make movies sound artificial. Instead, it corrects a real problem that happens in almost every room. Walls, windows, and furniture scatter mid-range frequencies unpredictably, and without targeted correction, dialogue loses its presence. With the feature turned on, voices become more intelligible, consonants become sharper, and speech cuts through environmental noise without overpowering the rest of the soundstage. This matters even more in Dolby Atmos content, where the mix is wider and more dynamic. Height effects, deep bass, and ambient layers can easily mask speech unless the center channel receives proper priority. What makes this mistake so common is that users rarely realize how much clarity they're missing. Many soundbars ship with the feature disabled to preserve a neutral profile, but real-world listening environments rarely match studio conditions. Even a slight boost from speech enhancement can make dialogue feel anchored and stable at all volume levels, from late-night listening to full-volume movie sessions. For anyone struggling to hear crisp voices despite owning a premium soundbar, not using speech enhancement is one of the most avoidable and impactful mistakes. Turning it on takes seconds, and the improvement, especially in dialogue-heavy content, is immediate. Hold on. The next section unlocks a fix that instantly improves clarity, but only if you know where to look. Watch closely and subscribe so you don't miss the final breakdown later in this video. Take a moment to like and share this video if it's helping you improve your system. And I want your input in the comments. What model are you using, and are you getting the clarity you expected? Mistake 2. Leaving the TV's sound output in PCM. One of the most common setup errors is leaving the TV's audio output set to PCM, which silently removes the soundbar's ability to decode Dolby Digital, Dolby Atmos, and other advanced formats. PCM is a basic uncompressed stereo signal meant for simple audio playback, and when your TV sends PCM to the soundbar, the bar never receives the multi-channel data it needs to create width, height, or real surround elements. During testing, leaving a system in PCM instantly collapsed the soundstage, eliminated discrete effects, and forced the soundbar to simulate immersion rather than decode it properly. Many users assume PCM is a cleaner or higher quality format, but for modern soundbars, PCM often means losing the very features you bought the system for. Switching the TV's audio output to bitstream, Dolby Digital, or Dolby Atmos allows the full encoded signal to pass through, giving the soundbar access to real channel information instead of a flattened stereo mix. This instantly restores the system's ability to use up-firing drivers, directional processing, and dedicated surround channels. In our testing, simply changing PCM to a supported surround format dramatically improved dialogue separation, bass weight, and spatial accuracy. Atmos height cues became more distinct, rear effects became more defined, and the entire soundstage opened up in a way PCM cannot reproduce. This mistake is so common because most TVs default to PCM in order to maintain compatibility with basic speakers, and users never question it. Do not skip this part. We discovered a behavior in the next test that manufacturers never mention, and it matters more than you think. Keep watching and subscribe right now for deeper, honest testing. If you're learning something new here, like the video and send it to someone who needs a better soundbar setup. Comment below with one question you still have about your soundbar, and I'll answer it in upcoming videos. What makes this especially important is that PCM also affects latency. When the TV handles audio instead of passing it through to the soundbar for decoding, extra processing steps can introduce sync issues where dialogue lags behind the video. Using the correct digital format reduces this delay and gives the soundbar full control over decoding, timing, and spatial placement. Leaving your TV set to PCM is one of the fastest ways to cripple Atmos performance without even realizing it. Correcting it takes a few seconds and unlocks the true multi-channel sound you paid for. Mistake 1. Ignoring TruePlay room calibration. Ignoring TruePlay room calibration is one of the biggest mistakes soundbar owners make because it prevents the system from understanding how your room actually shapes the sound. Rooms are unpredictable. Ceiling height, wall materials, furniture placement, and even where you sit all change the way audio reflects, absorbs, and blends together. When you skip TruePlay, you're forcing the soundbar to guess the acoustic behavior of your space, and that guess is almost always wrong. The result is a soundstage that feels smaller than it should, bass that either overwhelms or disappears, and Dolby Atmos height cues that never reach the listener with the accuracy they're designed for. Something unusual happens in the next few seconds, and it completely changes how a soundbar handles real content. Stay here and subscribe if you want these hidden results in every review. TruePlay was created to correct these problems by analyzing how sound interacts with your room and adjusting the system's frequency balance, spatial spread, and height projection accordingly. During testing, the difference between a calibrated soundbar and a non-calibrated one was dramatic. Without calibration, dialogue often sank backward, losing clarity under effects and bass. Height channels felt vague, drifting forward instead of rising above the listener. But once TruePlay was enabled, voices snapped into focus, bass tightened, and the entire room opened up acoustically. Suddenly, effects had placement, Atmos had vertical lift, and the soundbar felt like it was built specifically for that environment. If this breakdown is helping you understand your soundbar better, take a second to like the video and share it with someone who needs this fix. And tell me in the comments, what soundbar are you using right now? And what's the biggest issue you're facing? What most people don't realize is that TruePlay doesn't just tune one part of the sound. It restructures the entire soundstage so the system performs evenly across different types of content. It compensates for reflective surfaces that cause harsh highs, and it softens bass resonance that creates muddiness. It even stabilizes mid-range performance, which is essential for clean dialogue. Skipping true play leaves all of these problems untreated, limiting the soundbar's ability to deliver the cinematic clarity and immersion it's capable of. For people who invest in premium audio but never run calibration, it's one of the simplest and most impactful fixes they overlook. Calibrating takes only a few minutes, but the improvement can feel like you upgraded to a different soundbar entirely. Final conclusion. Understanding these 5 soundbar mistakes changes everything about how your system performs. Most people assume the soundbar they bought is the limiting factor, when in reality, the setup decisions they make on day one are responsible for weak dialogue, collapsed Atmos height, muddy bass, and poor sync between audio and video. The mistakes you learned in this video are not minor oversights. They're the core reasons why so many soundbars fail to deliver the cinematic experience they're capable of. When we tested these settings across multiple rooms and different soundbar models, the results were consistent. Ignoring true play calibration meant the system never understood the room it was placed in. Leaving the TV output on PCM prevented the soundbar from decoding the formats it was engineered for. Skipping speech enhancement forced dialogue to compete with effects and room reflections. Avoiding the loudness feature caused soundbars to lose warmth and presence at everyday listening levels. And failing to use height adjustment left Atmos cues unfocused, drifting forward instead of rising above the listener. What becomes clear in all this testing is that modern soundbars are powerful tools, but only when they're allowed to operate with the correct data and tuning. These systems rely on calibration, format, decoding, psychoacoustic adjustments, and vertical mapping to create the experience people expect from a premium setup. Without these tools, even the best hardware cannot perform at its highest level. The difference between a poorly set up soundbar and an optimized one is often dramatic enough to feel like a different product entirely. When all 5 mistakes are corrected, the system gains clarity, depth, impact, and spatial realism that simply cannot be achieved through volume increases or hardware upgrades alone. This is why understanding your equipment is just as important as buying it. It ensures you get the full value of your investment and the true home theater experience you were promised. Whether you're working with a compact soundbar or a flagship Atmos system, these fixes apply universally. They help you unlock more detail, more precision, more immersion, and a cleaner listening experience across movies, streaming, gaming, and everyday TV use. And the best part is that every improvement is accessible. None require tools, none require advanced knowledge, and none require additional cost. Just a smarter approach to setup. If this video helped you understand your soundbar better, take a moment right now to subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, but it directly supports deeper testing, more honest reviews, and the kind of real-world comparisons you won't find in marketing material. Like the video, share it with someone upgrading their home theater, and comment below with the next soundbars or features you want tested. I'm already working on new breakdowns, full Atmos rankings, wireless system comparisons, and calibration guides that will help you get even more performance out of your setup. Stay tuned, because the next video may end up being the one that finally helps you unlock your perfect home audio system.